I'm Nadine from AusBiz. Next up is Felix Group. Felix operates a cloud-based enterprise software as a service, so SaaS, and marketplace platform for the commercial construction and its related industries. So what it does is it connects contractors and their third-party vendors, automating and streamlining a whole range of critical procurement processes and related business processes as well. Felix listed on the ASX just recently on the 12th of January 2021 after raising $12 million in its IPO. It posted strong results in the first half of FY21 with revenue from its enterprise platform delivering increased revenue by 53% over the same period last year. And the customer base is growing too. The customer base for its marketplace was up 77% compared to the PCP. So, bit of housekeeping. If you have any questions, you know the routine. You can go down to the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen and just type it in. You can type it in live. You can type it in while the presentation is ongoing, and we will get to those questions at the end of the presentation. So let's welcome in Mike Davies. He is founder and CEO of Felix Group.
Thank you for that introduction, Nadine, and thanks for having me today. Thanks to NWR for putting on, and well done to everyone on making it through all of Friday. I think we're at the last one. So what better note to finish on than some enterprise SaaS and marketplace in construction. We'll get through. Cognizant that a number of you may be fairly new to the Felix story, given that we're newly listed. So today will be a bit of a high level one-on-one, really introducing who we are, what we do, and the space that we operate in. So as Nadine said, Felix connects contractors in construction and related industry with their third-party vendors. I think a really important note to land on from the outset is that Felix brings the power of enterprise SaaS and really sticky revenue streams that enterprise SaaS generates with the power and monetization opportunity of a dual-sided marketplace that we're building. So we'll step through how those three work together. We help contractors find, discover, and engage with third-party vendors in their supply chains to deliver and manage capital works projects, which is becoming all increasingly more important in the current environment. So Felix is a best-in-class technology solution that automates and streamlines a number of these processes. So for those of you not as familiar with how the construction project ecosystem works, typically we've got asset owners such as government bodies or property developers. They usually engage head contractors or multiple head contractors in the case of a joint venture, who then engage a third-party supply chain of third-party vendors such as subcontractors, equipment suppliers, and consultants to actually deliver the works. So you can see that Felix is a technology platform that sits in between and connects these head contractors with their third-party supply chains. And I guess the problem that we're solving, if you think about the Felix circle not being there, is typically these processes have been managed with paper-based forms, everyone working in Excel spreadsheets, manual processes, very labor-intensive, a complete lack of transparency, everyone working in silos. So we were basically, Felix started out as an online construction marketplace to source quotes until a number of the major contractors, tier one contractors in Australia, all alerted us to the big opportunity to solve vendor management and procurement with an enterprise solution that just wasn't being met adequately with technology. So what we've done is built an enterprise solution that automates and connects a lot of these processes. It starts with our vendor management module, which is basically ground zero for supply chain management. So it allows large contractors to essentially transform and digitize the way that they engage their third-party supply chain. Then our sourcing module connects in and allows project teams to run complex sourcing operations. So you can imagine on a billion-dollar infrastructure project, the contractor may award up to 1,000 packages of works to actually deliver and build that project. This allows, the sourcing module allows the project teams to source from and bid work out to compliant vendors through the platform. Then contracts are managed in the platform through our contract repository, and we'll enable contractors to engage an open marketplace of vendors. More and more large infrastructure projects are being taken on where contractors may not have an existing supply chain. So engaging and operating with the vendor marketplace allows them to rapidly find and mobilize a supply chain for new projects. As we bring up, I think everyone who's familiar with SaaS platforms and marketplace understands the power of network effects and getting those network effects going, and the flywheel effect. So I think it's sort of a really important illustrative way that we can showcase the power of the Felix marketplace platform. So if we think about every new contractor coming on board to the Felix platform, think about a major contractor and the number of third-party vendors they work with. So it could be up to 5,000 vendors. They embed Felix into their organization. They onboard their entire supply chain of third-party vendors who bid on work. And the more and more vendors that come into the platform, the more and more attractive the platform is to contractors. And then it forms that nice virtuous circle that everyone's after in these marketplaces. So Felix is operating in the global construction collaboration software market, which is large and growing. You can see there the construction collaboration software market projected to grow to 10.1 billion annually by 2030. But I think if we just step back from the market size numbers, what's really, I think, exciting is that Australia is at the commencement of a historic infrastructure boom, with particularly in a post-COVID environment, the government leveraging infrastructure to help the economy rebound. Felix is perfectly positioned to provide leverage to this infrastructure boom. And then we've got these sort of business operating conditions with steadily increasing regulatory compliance and reporting requirements, sustainable procurement targets such as the need to engage Indigenous supply, local supply, female participation on construction projects. So Felix really provides contractors with a smart solution to be able to find and engage the right contractors. A core part of our strategy is signing up tier one customers because of the scale and breadth of access to the market that they bring into the Felix ecosystem. So you can see familiar names such as the CIMIC Group and CPB Contractors, UGL, Sedgman and Tees within CIMIC Group. CIMIC Group underwent a 12-month process to find a global process to find the preferred technology provider for their vendor management and procurement. Felix won out there. Global names such as Veolia are the tier one names such as Monadelphous and Clough. I think what you can see here is really exciting is that not only in our DNA in commercial construction and infrastructure, but the applicability of the platform into related sectors such as utilities, mining services, etc. So a little bit of our secret sauce, like I said previously, is tier one contractors, they mandate the use of Felix to their entire supply chain. So that's what's driving the scale of our marketplace at little to no acquisition cost. Very much a global opportunity that we're playing into here. So those major tier one names that we just looked at, what they're doing is rolling Felix out on their significant international construction projects. And that's developing us an organic global footprint of vendors. You can see there are 42 countries outside of Australia without spending a dollar on sales or marketing in these regions yet. So what the effect that is having is creating a pull effect sort of the demand for Felix into these countries by contractors. So we've got a number of pipeline opportunities with international contractors currently, and expect to start converting these in calendar year 21. So, really exciting. We believe we've created the best-in-class vendor management solution and sourcing solution for construction and related industries globally. So now our focus is around on executing what's a significant opportunity in our current focus of Australia and New Zealand, with the wider global opportunity beyond that. So just looking at our model quickly and how Felix makes money, we sell enterprise SaaS contracts to our enterprise contractor customers. Typical contract would be 3 years in length and $64,000 of ARR per year. So TCV of sort of 180 to 200K there. And on the marketplace side, so the third-party vendors, they pay an annual subscription to receive leads through the marketplace, 2,100 average ARR on that side. So monetizing both sides of the marketplace as we scale. On the, our core focus is growing the enterprise SaaS revenues. Given that we operate at supply chain management for contractors, we've become deeply embedded in their operations. So by growing continual uptake of the number of enterprise customers and enterprise SaaS revenues, this is what's driving the growth in our vendor marketplace numbers and creating a significant monetization opportunity to scale marketplace revenues. So divided in terms of looking at our strategic plan for growing the business, we've really identified 3 distinct phases as we move forward. Phase 1 has been all about significant investment into the platform. We've proven out the technology and had validation of our enterprise solution from market-leading customers. That's driven an initial level of scale, as you can see, and with 4 core modules in our enterprise solution down the bottom. As we move into phase 2, which is underway now, it's all about continuing that penetration and scale towards 45 enterprise target customers, which should bring us well in excess of 60,000 target vendors, and then really using the IPO proceeds to invest in the breadth of our technology platform across both the enterprise solution with new modules and delivering modules which are going to allow us to monetize that marketplace at a much larger scale. You can see there with the Prequel wallet and Prequel passport. So it's this investment in the platform as we continue to convert our really strong pipeline that's going to really allow us to unlock and drive further revenue streams as we move forward. Phase 3 will be all about shifting the pedal towards monetization and unlocking, turning on the tap of monetization of those vendors as a much larger scale. You can see there, just in terms of pipeline, that enterprise, we've got 227 enterprise customers in our pipeline, and we're playing into a market just in construction vendors in Australia of 375,000 total vendors. So just a significant market we're playing into, and just in terms of the Australian New Zealand market, lots of headroom there to continue growth. So talking about the sort of enterprise solution and what's coming next, as well as I mentioned some of these new sectors that we're playing into, and we've got some early cornerstone customers, but what's coming next. So the core modules currently that we're monetizing are vendor management and sourcing. The new modules that we're building out are individual worker compliance, which is all about dialing in the pre-qualification and compliance aspect of our platform to the individual level and not just the vendor business level. And then full contract lifecycle management. Both of these modules in high demand from our existing and prospective customer base. So you can do the quick maths. If we've got two modules currently which are generating all of our enterprise SaaS ARR, double that to 4, conceptually increases our ARPU ceiling or average customer value by 100%. We've been playing in our sweet spot of engineering, construction and infrastructure to date. The applicability of the platform into related sectors such as resources, commercial construction and energy and utilities, we've been super excited by. Obviously that serves to really expand our addressable market, and we're seeing that with really strong pipeline across all sectors as well as cornerstone customers, and some exciting things to come there. Here is just an illustrative example, I think, of the land and expand strategy that we have with enterprise customers. Is an ASX listed tier 1 contractor. You can see there they were signed in 2018 at a relatively modest ARR of 36,000, and what they were doing was just solving the vendor management problem with our vendor management module across one division of the business. And you can see there that steady increase and uptake and expansion as we've proved value, built trust, So expanding the use case from the number of modules as well as the number of business units and geographies using the platform. So we're seeing just increasing numbers of existing customers seeing the obvious benefits of integrating more of our modules and licensing more modules once they've solved that initial problem around supply chain management with our vendor management module. So we've spoken about the monetization opportunity on the vendor side and the significant numbers that we've already got and scale in that vendor marketplace. The way that we're going to do this at scale is all around the vendor compliance and vendor pre-qualification passport. So we speak to vendors every day. The biggest problem in the industry that vendors have got in terms of administrative burden and duplication of effort is around the way that they pre-qualify to contractors. So basically every contractor that a vendor is bidding on or shortlisted on, they need to answer up to 300 questions or upload, send through, scan and send 20 documents. So the ability to pre-qualify themselves to an internationally recognised standards within the Felix marketplace for contractors to quickly find them and have the trust to bring them onto a project quickly, as well as one wallet centralisation of all of their pre-qual and compliance data. So any new contractor that comes along and wants to get all of their creds, it's just one click every time. So a nominal fee for vendors to be able to solve these big problems for themselves, visibility within the industry. You can see there some of the numbers. We've got a stable revenue base of around 2.1 million across our vendor marketplace at the moment on an annualized basis. So as we shift and really dial up that scale, it'll be around building out those modules and then scaling the monetization at a much larger rate. So FY21, really excited about our progress to date. We've released major internationalisation features, which is reducing friction on rolling Felix out onto major commercial construction projects internationally, and also getting us ready for uptake by enterprise customers in the larger markets internationally. We've commenced development on those core new modules that we've spoken about, as well as the vendor passport. As we continue through FY21, we're going to accelerate the uptake. For any of those you saw the half-year results, while we posted and we're really pleased with the strong growth that we had to date, it was a challenging enterprise sales environment, COVID impacted. So we're seeing the backlog from 2020 really come back online in terms of conversion opportunities, and expect to accelerate the uptake from enterprise customers, which is obviously the core revenue growth engine and what drives the scale in our marketplace. So just to sort of round out, again, just reflecting on the growth strategy and opportunities that we've got, we're going to continue to scale those contractor revenues through winning new cornerstone enterprise customers. We're investing strongly in expansion of our platform, which is going to increase our average customer ARR, as well as unlocking our acceleration into related sectors that we're targeting. We've got the significant opportunity to monetize that vendor marketplace and penetrate those related sectors, as well as the significant greenfield opportunities and demand and pull we're starting to see into international markets, whether it's nearby a Felix project in a geographical sense, or an existing Australian customer that's part of a global group that's seen the value of what Felix has done for the Australian operations and wanting to roll that out on a global basis. Just a quick look at board and management before we sort of finish up and open up to any questions. Really excited by the recent appointments of Michael Bushby. Our chairman, Michael, was chair of E-Roads, who's now NZ and ASX listed for 7 years. He's president of Roads Australia, as well as Rob Philpott, who was a co-founder and helped lead Aconex for a period of 20 years before they were ultimately acquired by Aconex for 1.6 billion, which is the largest tech acquisition in Australian history. So for anyone that knows their stuff, the validation for Felix and what we're doing by someone of Rob's pedigree is significant. And that's that all in 19 minutes. So Nadine, happy to take any questions before anyone hits the pub on Friday afternoon.
You're right. Look, great. Thank you for that. We do have a few questions that have come in. Let's just start at the top. Can you provide an estimate of what portion of your clients have software under evaluation versus deployed? And for those deployed, to what extent? Number with 50% and or 100% deployment in their companies?
Just trying to work out exactly what the question's getting at, but
I think it's more, you know,
in implementation phases versus private. Yeah, so we have about 4 to 5 customers still in sort of implementation and rollout phases. Yeah, I think that with most of our customer base, we'd probably never view them as, there'd only be a couple that we view as completely deployed, because we always look at sort of expansion opportunities with that customer, which whether it's existing or future modules, there's uptake or, you know, international operations that they have or different business units. So if we compare, I guess, the ARR that we're generating out of our existing customer base and what we view as a ceiling, an ARR ceiling for that customer base, I would say that it was probably, we could probably double that in terms of ARR that's generating over the coming 18 to 24 months, just as a finger in the air.
The next question, who are the existing or new competitors in this area in Australia and overseas? So maybe talk to us a little bit about your moat.
Sure. We typically come up in competitive processes against the larger, sort of more global procurement platforms. So our solution often integrates into customers' core ERP solution like SAP and Oracle. SAP has Ariba as a procurement platform. Ariba is a procurement platform which exists across many industries and verticals, whereas our specialisation in construction, infrastructure and related sectors is what sets us apart, I think, in terms of our competitive advantage. So core users of the platform will see Felix and go, that's built for my problems, rather than the pens and pencils procurement platform.
Julie writes, it sounds like a busy time going forward. One, are you adequately resourced to manage this significant opportunity? And what do you anticipate your cash burn will be like going forward?
Great questions. Yes, we've invested significantly. I think we'd raised 25 million prior to listing. So invested significantly in the infrastructure of the business and the team, as well as the technology platform and its security and scalability. So we think that as we move into this exciting phase of growth, we're sort of adequately resourced to actually pull those scale levers and have the right underpinnings. Yeah, our modelling indicates that the raise that we've done is enough to get the company through to cash flow break even. You know, should we continue that top line growth, and we've got a really clear picture of what the costing, the bottom line costs are to drive that growth.
Okay, and I think the next question is sort of along those same lines, just saying it looks like you're close to earnings, EBITDA break even. How do you anticipate the path to EBITDA plus over the next couple of years, given the ramp up, and does it, you know, come with increased costs, I think is the question.
That's right. Yeah, I think if we look backwards the past 12 months, yeah, we're probably, you know, we're operating as cash flow positive over that sort of last half year period. Having said that, we've raised 12 million with the IPO, and we're really about sort of investing in the right areas to drive that top line growth. And if we think about the opportunity, it's really a land grab opportunity, because I think, Nadine, you mentioned the moat as well. I think the more and more tier one logos that we lock in, as well as the scale of their supply chains, that's what builds the defensible moat for the business. So that's going to be our focus, is just investing and driving top line growth. So, you know, we're prepared to spend a bit more to drive and lock in that growth. So, you know, while we've been operating cash flow positive past 6 months, that's not our sort of core focus moving forward. So we probably see that sort of genuine cash flow break even and beyond, and positive EBITDA as maybe sort of 18 to 24 months away from here.
Okay, I think you sort of touched upon this before, but how does the Felix software fit with construction software, specifically like Aconex?
Sure. So yeah, typically the shopping list for large construction contractors for us will be to integrate into their ERP solution, the core finance platform. Felix becomes that central vendor source of truth for these, and generally the other core item is into their document management system, such as Aconex or Procore or Teambinder, so that during the bidding phase and sourcing, documents can be sort of uploaded dropped into Felix from Aconex and centrally stored there. So we just essentially fit neatly into their existing tech ecosystem without any sort of overlap into those major platforms.
Okay, Mike, Davies, I do believe your weekend might start soon. I think we'll call it a wrap, but thank you so much for the presentation, telling us all about Felix Group. Ticker code is FLX. Mike Davies, founder and CEO, thank you.
Thanks, Nadine. Thanks, everyone.